Rest in peace to D'Angelo, age 51. Oh man, hearing the news that he had been battling cancer, no one knew. I saw him on the Nelson George doing an interview, and he was always kind of like, obviously, he had kind of like a mystery aura thing about him. Um, we had like a mixed situation. I thought he was one of the best artists I had heard over the last 30, 40 years. I also thought that the cat seemed kind of fragile in some capacities because, he'd mumble. And that was like one of them running jokes where I'd say he was like mumble, which I did because I thought it was like a two-part thing with him. You couldn't quite get it. And it was just like one of those things that you just didn't understand. But never no denying his talent. And you talk about I feel for his child that he had with Angie Stone. Think about it, you lost both of your parents within 4 or 5 months. That is pretty scary. But let me go back to him when I first became acquainted with him. It was Black Men United, You Will Know. He co-wrote that song, and he was featured in it early in the song. His vocals were different, distinctive. He was one of the first faces of neo soul. Him and Maxwell came out with Brown Sugar, which was an addictive song. He was a multi instrumentalist, singer songwriter. He definitely had something fresh about his perspective. He definitely seemed like he was a guy that was going to be a problem, uh, you know. And then he did the Unplugged record, and he did cover songs and so on and so forth. But he definitely was getting the attention of people. People were coming to check him out. He was one of those dudes that was going to be a problem to whoever you thought was the king of R&B in the 90s. Whoever you thought it would have been. Could have been R. Kelly, could have been Maxwell, could have been Brian McKnight at that time, or Joe, or whoever you thought was like that top dog. You had to be aware of D'Angelo. He made you step your game up. He made you notice. Because I remember when his Untitled record came out, and that was the one that, for better or for worse, it got him a lot of attention. It was his tribute to Prince, but it also because he felt exposed. But it was huge, and he was respected of his musicianship, his talent. He had that. He definitely commanded a stage and an audience with that. With the Soul Aquarians, him and Questlove worked together, etc., and Jay Dilla. The impact. He was just as much impactful with R&B as he was with hip hop, and he was bringing his popular music. He was a guy that was an intriguing cat. Um, and he had other records, and he didn't put out a lot of music. But when he did, people took notice. When he toured, people took notice. Uh, when Prince passed, he was on the Jay Leno, not